Shoot, I think it's December 27th, 2025. Man, I'm out here in Griffin, Georgia at my parents' house. Just appreciating nature. Uh, Kids with their grandpa went to the park. Their grandmom out with some friends, and I'm here by myself, so I had a little minute. So, what's on my mind? Really, coming up to the end of the year, 26 got to be it. At this point, I'm going into this year outside of back taxes with no debt. My lifestyle is very basic. I don't spend a lot of money, so it's maximizing this time before I add something to the plate. Coming up to this little stretch where it's my time. So first quarter of the year is really my time. That's what I learned the last 2 years is the best time for me to focus on me and make progress, which is probably similar to a lot of people, but maybe for different reasons. But for me specifically is because I don't really have any obligations during the first few months of the year. So all of my kids' birthdays at the end of the year, my birthday at the end of the year, the holidays, all of that. So until spring break, it's not really something I have to be at. Now, if something come up for my kids' school or whatever, I'll try to be there. I won't even say try, I'll be there for that. I'm not working. And even when I go back to work, I'm transitioning from primarily just doing timeshare to doing insurance. And I think that's gonna be better for me because I won't be dealing with the conflicts I had of, the perception of timeshare. I don't think people got a bad perception of insurance. And either way, I won't be dealing with people who are not interested. I'll only be dealing with people who are actually reaching out to get the information to try to put a plan in place and protect their family. So that's a win. But even outside of that, just the fact that I don't have no credit card debt, I don't owe nobody. I put myself in bad situations the last few years where I kept trying to play catch up, and now I'm caught up except for taxes. And even with that, I'm not worried about it. Like, whatever I owe, I'll pay. I'm fine with that. Absolutely no problem. But this son, it wasn't like that. So y'all just don't have to, I won't even say y'all, because really, like, this for me. And my greasy oars, the sun just shining. Dang. All right. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm in a good spot. Now, I would say my primary goal was to lose weight last 2 years. And I was up and down. But going into this year, I feel like I have the best plan in place. Committed to doing intermittent fasting, but not just doing that, but also doing a 3-day fast once or twice a month. Because that's what's going to work for me. I'm going to get back in the gym. So that's something I haven't really been in the gym. I've been doing everything at home. But something I can maintain. I'll be in a position where I can actually afford to focus on the nutrition and supplements and all the stuff like that. So that's a win. I mean, it's really, everything has been put in place for me to have the best year I've had in the last 2 decades. Legitimately. So, see the gray? If I grow it out, it's a lot more. But still, I'm 43. My youngest child is 6 at the moment. I hope I have some more. And if I do have some more, then they'll have a better life than the ones I already had. That's just the reality. I reflected a lot this year. Just the mistakes I made when I was younger. What's really important. How to balance what I know I need to do versus doing it in a way that I don't alienate people or make people feel less than, or even make people feel like I'm angry. Being real with myself. I came a long way this year mentally, emotionally. A lot of times in the past, I just knew something was wrong, but I ain't necessarily know what it was. It's not fun being angry all the time. And in certain areas, I've gotten a lot better. Like in interaction with people. But in certain areas, I still see it. But this is the thing, I see it now and I'm mindful of it. Like every time I lose my temper, it registers like, you know, why did I lose my temper? Was that serious? You know, how can I handle this better? Even if I'm by myself, because the vast majority of the time what I realize, and that's also a reason why I don't necessarily care about having a car, because I realized people driving frustrate me more than anything else. I get upset driving more than doing anything else because people just reckless and irresponsible. And when you putting somebody else's life in jeopardy, like I haven't got to the point where that doesn't trigger me. But it's not like I'm chasing people down or it's no road rage or whatever. I'm just like, but I get mad. So I've been, more mindful of the things that upset me. And I really figured out why I be so upset. And also, I will still kind of give myself some grace that I'm not necessarily wrong for being upset about the things that upset me, because I thought a lot about the things that upset me. And it's not that it's crazy. It's just I overreacted. Like, so that's the part I got to work on. Well, still both, because if there's nothing I can do about it, it's still kind of pointless to get upset. And this is really the most important time of my life, because this will determine how long I live. Like, my mom was asking what the kids eat, because, and I appreciate it so much, because the reason that she's asking is so that she can do what she need to do to try to create a situation where it's not negative for her grandchildren. And I appreciate that, because that's the same thing I'm trying to do. But even I find myself getting frustrated, and I don't want to interact with my kids a certain way, with my nephews, nieces, whatever, anybody. So a lot of times it's with adults, because they're adults, I don't feel like it's necessarily my responsibility to tell them certain things. Even if they don't know, I feel like that's their choice, like, to behave that way. And if it's somebody that I care enough about, that I feel like I need to have a conversation with them, I'll have a conversation with them. But for the most parts, I just accept people for who they are. I got good friends that are just as screwed up as I am, you know, in different ways though. But I don't judge them. But I no longer have certain expectations of people unless they express that I can have those expectations, right? If you tell me I could trust you, then, you know, that's where I will add that expectation. If you don't, and then you do something that I feel some kind of way about, like, most people show you who they are. And I can't think of one situation where people didn't. And the thing that I learned more than anything was not to overlook that stuff. Because, prime example, all right, my opinion of myself is like, I could be in the 5%, right? Might not be able to be in the 1% or the 3%, but I could be in the 5%. I can, and I will. But it's not easy. I'm not right now because it's not easy. And I've been trying to figure out how to make it easy, and I think I have. But I gotta be okay with the timeline. So my way is easy. I'm just being real. I won't even say it's easy, it's simple. And even saying my way is not necessarily my way. It's one of the ways you can be successful. There are so many people who I admire, right? Respect because of what they accomplished. Even if I don't necessarily, if I'm not a fan of the person, I can be a fan of their accomplishments, right? Like, that's what it is. That's how you gotta believe. Because even if it seemed crazy to everybody else, reality is reality. So at this point, I think whatever people's opinion of him are, you know, it's a wide range from one end of the spectrum to the other. Like, it's extremely bad or extremely good. It's people in the middle, so it's all over the place. And the person that I'm talking about is Jake Paul, right? But whoever want to hate can hate, but you can't take away what that man did, and I respect that. And I felt like he ain't had no business in the ring with Anthony Joshua. None. And he really didn't. But at the same time, he put himself in a position where it was the ideal set of circumstances for him to have that fight. And for him to have that outcome. Like, it went longer than people expected it to go, but whatever people want to say, he didn't get knocked out in the first round. He didn't get knocked out in the second round. Like, so, and not to mention, he made $120 million. What could $120 million do for my family? But I ain't Jake Paul, and I ain't trying to be Jake Paul, but I can get $120 million another way. But how? So I think about that every day, and I admire people that accomplish, because it's not just like, I was watching some, I don't know, and again, I don't know these people's names, but I live on this freaking planet. I live in the US, with how our media is. If you consume it like at all, you're gonna get exposed to certain things and certain people, even if you don't know what they are or who they are. Like, there will be name recognition. Like Mr. Beast, don't know nothing about the dude, but hey, you know what I mean? So, said all of that to say this. Not to say that it wouldn't be nice, but I know I could be happy with a lot less than 120 million. Because this thing's far more important to me than money. But money matters because I still need money to provide what I need to provide for my family. So that's one level. But then so that side of it, let's be real, what have I accomplished? Well, if nothing else, I got $50,000 of passive income annually right now, and that'll increase. So I don't know how many people, like regular people, because I'm not a celebrity, I'm not an athlete or entertainer. I'm just a regular dude. Like, what percentage of people can say that? I'm not the only one. I'm one of many, but how many? So that in itself, like, but it's based off my choices. I earned that. Like, nobody just walked up to me like, yo, we about to give you this money. It's stuff I deal with on a daily basis. Like, I'm trying not to complain about it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, as grateful as I am to be where I'm at in life, it's not what I wanted. It's not what I want. I'm still grateful for it, but I want a family. I want my family to want to be around me. I want a wife who wants to make me happy. I want a wife who appreciates the fact that I want to make her happy. That can communicate. Like, I don't want to ramble about all that, but I mean, I want a lot that I don't have. But I'm grateful for what I have and where I'm at. So I'm just trying to build on it. So next year, the most important thing for me is just to get caught up financially. And my lifestyle is maybe, I don't know, $3,500 a month lifestyle. So if I'm getting 6,000, 7,000, 10,000, whatever, and like the most I've ever made in a month is 35,000. But I mean, how many times have I done that once? You know, how many times have I made 30? A few times. 20, more. 10, a lot more. So the consistency. But anyway, I was in different situations. I had different obligations, all this stuff. But now, like, I can actually make something happen with that. But what could I make happen if I had more? So how do I get more? Because that's where I'm at. Passive income. Like, I'll work to get it, but I don't want to be working. So you got two routes. Well, I guess you got an infinite amount of routes, but two main things I would think of as far as me and my success. It's either the way where I commit and go hard for a modest amount of time, right? Not overnight, but not 20 years, right? Not even 10 years. 3 to 7 years. And then have everything where I want it to be. And again, I don't need 120 million. So I need like 20,000 a month. And that's what it is. And that's what I'm gonna get. Now, when I get there, if I felt like I need more, then, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna stop. But I know that's what I need to live the way I want to live. So what is that? Being able to go do this stuff. Like, I keep hearing these dumb conversations about like men paying for stuff. Man, you should pay for stuff. But with that being said, like, you gotta pay for what you can afford. You can't be going broke trying to pay for stuff you can't afford. And also, so I guess the way I see that is the most important thing is that's my desire as a man. Don't nobody gotta convince me that it makes sense. Don't nobody gotta sell me on it. That's how I feel. That's what I want to do. With that being said, if that's not good enough, like, for whatever woman, she's not my person. I've accepted that. Like, what I want, like, I gotta be with a person who wants the same thing. Like, I can't be with a person that don't really matter to them. Like, they want something else. And hopefully I can find my person. Right now, my person probably smoke weed, because I enjoy smoking weed, and I like enjoy smoking weed with my person. You know, my person like going to the movies. She's like going on vacation. She not too extra, right? Like, she likes nice things, but still within my reality of roughly 20,000 a month. And I think that's a great life. But I only got 20% of that right now. So the sooner I could get there, the better it'll be. And I mean, if I'm being real, like, in sales, that is a very real possibility to happen this year. 20,000 a month, especially if it's something that I care about, which I do care about. Insurance, the same thing I care about. Timeshare, like, I'm getting into insurance, but I still like timeshare is a big part of what made me the man that I am. Because, man, if you being real, and people, I mean, look, it's been people that have been on presentations just lying through their teeth for no reason. And, like, it is what it is, man. You know, I can't be mad at people for, you know, participating, because that's the thing. So other people be mad, like, they taking it. No, man, it's the system. And that's what it's set up for. So, like, every single time a person in there, I have an opportunity to help them change their lives. And I don't care what people say. The reality is, it makes sense. And not only does it make sense, it's actually one of the best investments you can make. But you got to use it. And I really don't care about everything it won't do. I don't. Because if you do what it can do, it's a huge benefit. And that's how I've always presented timeshare to anybody, because that's really what it is. So I only talk about me. My kids, vacation. My mom talk about how they vacationed and they took cruises when they was kids. Like, I ain't do none of that, and I still haven't taken a cruise. So that's something I'm gonna do in 26. Like, legit, I'll be planning it, and it'll be happening, soon, because I decided, and that's all it really takes. But just being able to do it different with Sophia and Micah, like, that's everything to me, because man, how much different would things be if everybody memories was of, more positive things. But if you don't provide that, like, you can't, in order for it to be a memory, like, it has to happen. And I ain't make shit happen. So, and I mean, I can't even say that, because I did. I just didn't do it to that level. And that's really what it's about, is making things better. Because let's say you can't afford to go wherever you want to go. That's cool. Like, you gonna do that anyway. But if you just felt like shooting in Chicago, that's not even a great thing necessarily. And I ain't knocking Chicago. I'm just saying, like, it's not an extravagant trip. It can be expensive, right? But it's not comparable to something like that. But still end up spending a lot of money. It's $100 to park. I mean, the room, if you get any type of decent room in any good location, you're spending $400 or $500 a night. And I don't want to turn this into a timeshare presentation. It's just a point that my kids have stayed at a Waldorf Astoria. My kids have, got to go to Orlando and do Universal Studios and do Disney and these things that, like, I'm glad they got to do it, but, like, how much better would it have been if they could have done a lot more? And how much, I don't even want to say regret, but, like, how much I learned from, not incorporating that type of stuff into what I valued. But if you really value your family, and it's something that you can literally, like, the value is pennies on a dollar, like, for real. Because I've done the Expedia and Hotwire. Now, ended up in Denver one time off one of them sites, and they gave my room away. So now I'm just out here. I done caught a Uber, because I don't even think I rented a car that time. I might have. No, I probably did rent a car, knowing what I went out there for. Yeah. So anyway, I get to the hotel, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, like, having to figure it out. But even going to stay in Branson, like, my kids having a kitchen in the living room, even if we just went to Walmart and literally bought some games and played video games, like, they got to do that stuff. And my kids get to travel, and that's because of timeshare. And even if I could do it without timeshare, it's just a better value to do it with. And that don't mean I'm gonna use it for everything, because I'm not. Like, it was a way better value to use my friends and family rate to do a Waldorf Astoria. Like, yeah. But that's not gonna stop me from taking my kids to Orlando. Man, my maintenance like $1,000. And I know no matter what, I will spend that. If I just rented, my mouth dry. If I just rented a hotel room that's actually big enough for everybody to be comfortable, I'm gonna spend $300 a night. Or we're not gonna have that, because that's how much it costs. Like, for real, you can't get no 2-bedroom with a full kitchen and living room and all of that for $150. And unless you, like, somewhere you don't want to be. But we've been in those situations too, man. Anyway, but you do better when you know better. So it's a lot of stuff that I know better now, and yeah, I gotta do better. I gotta do better with this and hold myself accountable. So anyway, around the world, because that's always how my mind works. But to come back to the point about just me being, in a 5%, put myself in a 5%. At this point, that's it. When it's not gonna take that long. And if it do, it's just because I ain't doing what I'm supposed to. So yeah, right now I do feel like, I'm not at my best. Now, do that mean I feel like I'm not worthy of love or companionship or commitment? No, I don't mean that. It just mean like I would hope that somebody actually like me, right, for me, because of what I believe, because of how I behave, because of my standards, because of my desires. Like, they want the same things. Like, I want to be a provider and protector and whatever. But it's also like other stuff that I know I'm not going to do unless I have somebody like to support me in it. Like, I see things and I want to make sure that my kids don't end up like that. And I think each generation try to do that. But I'm not getting no taller, and I'm not willing to do one of them. I won't even call it ridiculous, because again, that man commitment is more than mine. Because would I like to be 6 foot? Yeah. I wouldn't want to be super tall, but yeah. But I don't feel no kind of way about being 5'9". It is what it is. But I do feel some kind of way about being overweight. So that's something that it gotta change. And it don't even take that long, but like we about to see. But that's what 2026 is, man. We about to see. And I'm cool with it, because I'm excited about, like, when I think about what that can be, that drives me. Like, every opportunity I get, I have the opportunity to change life for myself and my family. And it's about whether I want to make these appointments or I want to play Madden. And I mean, I don't even like Madden that much. Like, if I really just wanted to waste my time playing video games, I would get the money to get a PlayStation 3 and get Civilization, and I would just play Civilization all day, because I love that game. But I don't have that game, and I'm not about to buy no PlayStation 3 and all of that. But yeah, man, I'll play Madden just because I'm bored. But I could be busy instead of bored. So we'll see whether I'm going to be busy or bored. But ultimately, as long as I stick to what I believe and I behave that way on a daily basis, a lot more often than not, the vast majority of the time, because I know it don't have to be every day. You can have breaks and you can, like, but not too much. So that's 26, is putting that routine together where I do focus more on my faith. Like, I've been doing good with praying, but I want to get around some people that we can have some real discussions about religion. Some people that might expose me to some stuff that help me out, help me become a better person, because I feel like that's what it's about. If something makes sense, I'm not about to argue with you. You know what I mean? Somebody can tell me, hey, you shouldn't do this for this reason, and if that makes sense to me, I don't gotta, like, be a certain religion or whatever else to apply something that makes sense to me. So that's really all it's about for me right now. It's just really learning everything I can and applying it, not just taking the information, but actually benefiting from it. And yeah, I'm good with that. But man, it's beautiful out here. No mosquitoes. So I guess I like Georgia this time of year, but I had to get to the point where I could be out here. And I'm at that point, and I came out here, last year and this year. And I really, honestly, I don't remember last year. Like, I remember the road trip more than like us actually being here. But like I'm happy my mom get to spend her time with her grandkids, and it make me appreciate the time I had with my grandma, with both of them at different times, because like, man, we was always with my grandma when I was little. Like, and my grandma, like, my grandma was cool, man. Like, my grandma was cool as shit. Like, it's crazy. I had the cool young grandma. And I don't know if I could appreciate that when I was young, but yeah, that shit cool as hell. And then, so I got that, but I also got like the older grandma with the wisdom, like, because the impact was there from both of them all of the time, but it was more early with my mom's mom, and then later with my dad's mom, and those walks and those conversations, and just her, because it was really just her sharing a lot of history with me, and then like me just being able to vent, just like having a safe space, because I know she wasn't gonna go tell nobody else. I know she wasn't gonna, you know what I mean? It was like I could talk to her. She'd give me her opinion, without judgment, right? But she'd still tell me how she felt. Like, my grandma kept it real, but she like still was supportive. You know what I mean? Like, my grandma told me, she said, Lily don't want to be no wife. She want to be a kept woman. And like, when she's like, man, my grandma was real. You know what I mean? But still, I used to go bring, get the kids and bring the laundry and whatever else. My grandma was always there. She never treated nobody different or whatever else. She wasn't gonna allow me to disrespect her. Like, my grandma, I don't like. It's one time my grandma hurt my feelings, and like, she hurt my feelings because I was that kid who cared. And when my grandma said, did I deserve something, if I was worth it? It was like, damn, how could I be if I'm not? Like, I'm in school, I'm getting great grades, and I was even slacking, because I'm just, man, when I got to a certain point where I ain't care no more. And it was because when I was young, it was go, go, go. And then I knew I had the opportunity to skip grades twice, and my parents wouldn't let me, so I felt like they held me back. So it's like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of even trying that hard if I'm not gonna benefit from it? So like, that really shifted me off of like having a huge focus on academics. I was still smart, so I was still gonna pass and get good grades, but I didn't care about it anymore. So like, I'm working. I was a manager at Popeyes. I was on a wrestling team. I was on a football team, and I ain't really stick to nothing, because like, I didn't stand out at anything. But it wasn't like my grandma didn't give me every opportunity and support whatever I wanted to do. Like, my grandma supported whatever I wanted to do. My grandma drive 45 minutes out the way to take me to go meet a girl. Like, for real. As long as she talked to their parents and everything was cool, it was like, my grandma was there. Yeah, man, people talk about a rider, man. Maybelle, Washington. My grandma was a rider, like, for real. But anyway, yeah, I came from good people. I came from people that was fucked up too. But all of it's to my benefit, and all of my issues gonna be to my benefit, and hopefully my kids benefit. But they got back like a few minutes ago, so I'm sure they gonna be making their way over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. But gotta record, man. Gotta record, cause you gotta hold yourself accountable. And this it. Like, what's the excuse? You cleared up all your debt. Like, this is the shit you've been doing the last few years. You started it in like 23, 24. But like, that's why you did it. So now you at the end of the rainbow. All the debt is paid off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, what are you gonna do with what you have? And you got more than you ever had. And at the same time, like, you know how to do things better than you ever done in the past. So, shit, man, let's get it.